Hello, everybody. We are live at VW Farm. This is our very first live event. I want to welcome everybody you're watching. Today, we are making itch sticks. Itch sticks are these right here. They are itch relief for bug bites, bee stings, that sort of thing. It's made out of all natural ingredients, and that's right in front of me. The very first ingredient that we use is of a flower called calendula. That calendula we grow right here on our farm. These calendula petals or blossoms, so to speak, I guess is what you call them. We dry them out and then we put them in this mason jar. And then when we go to infuse it with coconut oil, we take the mason jar and we divvy it up and then we put it in our crock pot and we let it steep for 72 hours. So what we do then is we take a mason jar empty, we fill it up about 2/3 of the way of calendula flower, and then fill the rest of it up with coconut oil, and then we let it steep in a crock pot. So after that has been infused, this is what it would look like here. This is infused coconut oil. It's a lot different than just regular coconut oil. Well, not really a lot different. It's just infused with calendula. Calendula is what gives these products the anti-itch properties. We have a little bit of beeswax here, and I have some melting in my double boiler. The beeswax has a high melting point of about 140 degrees, so it really takes a while for it to melt, so we're getting that done early. And we have shea butter to help with moisturization. Once our beeswax gets melted, we'll add the shea butter and the coconut oil, and we'll get it mixed up. We are also taking questions on our live chat, so feel free to drop some comments down below. Our beeswax is already starting to melt. This is all solidified beeswax, and then on the bottom here you can actually see some liquid beeswax. So we're going to let that continue to melt.
Can you tell me about what sort of utensils and tools you need to make this sort of a thing?
So we have our soap room set up specifically for soap and these itch sticks and lotion sticks. We weighed everything out with a scale, so you'll need a kitchen scale. We have a spatula to help with stirring. We have a double boiler to help with melting. And then we just have a few containers here that are just holding the ingredients. We usually measure the ingredients and then add them to the pot, but I wanted to show you everything all at once here. And then we have these nice twist up containers that we fill with the final product, and then we ship it to your door. So the beeswax takes quite a while to melt. That's what we're waiting on now. We have a bunch here that we need to get melted too. We tried grating it with a cheese grater to help assist, and it just wasn't working, so we chunked up the rest. The nice thing about the calendula flower, it's actually part of the marigold family. This is just a really easy plant to grow, and the herbal properties of this plant are amazing. And that's, like I said before, that's what gives it its anti-itch relieving property.
How much space did it take to grow the amount of calendula that you have in that jar?
So the amount of calendula in this jar, it only took approximately, what would you say, a 2x2?
Yeah, I would say 2x2.
So a 2-foot by 2-foot garden, and we harvested the flower heads as they grew. And the nice thing about it is when you start picking heads off the the flower, it creates more because it wants to go to seed and it wants to reproduce itself. So as the more you pick, the more it will grow. We got a nice boil going. Our beeswax is melting nicely. Now this beeswax is locally sourced. We bought this beeswax from a local beekeeper.
So after you pick the flower heads, what do you do with them?
We basically just leave them out to dry. We did throw them into a dehydrator to help assist like a more fast dry, and that seemed to help quite a bit. But I'm gonna actually add a little bit more beeswax to this. Beeswax in itself is a very nice product. There's a lot of good uses for it. People make candles out of it. It has a lot of good health qualities to it. I know with candles it helps purify the air, but we're not making candles today. The reason why we use beeswax in this um, process is to maintain hardness. Our coconut oil, as you can see, is liquid, and it actually has a melting point of 72-ish degrees, and beeswax maintains a melting point of about 140, I believe. So that helps maintain hardness. Shea butter helps with the moisturization, and the coconut oil is another hardening agent, but it also maintains our infusion, which helps with obviously the anti-itch properties.
When did you start making soap and lotion?
So I actually didn't start making it. My wife did. She's behind the camera here, asking all these questions.
Asking all the tough questions.
It was her idea to do this, and we started our company in 2018, and we branched on from there. We filed for our LLC in 2022 as sort of a rebrand, and here we are. The itch stick is a fairly new product, and they're selling like hotcakes, and we're very proud of that. We like trying new products, and we're definitely enjoying the infusions. They seem to be a nice hit for us.
Can you tell us the difference between making soap and making a lotion stick like we're doing today?
So making soap is a lot different. So you mix a lye and water. Well, first you do a calculation to make sure you have enough fatty acids and fatty oils, and then we mix lye and water together, and you set aside the lye and water to cool down, and then you heat up your oils. And while the oils are all melted, it'll turn into a liquid just like this. And then you let them cool down together, and then you mix the lye water with the oils, and you blend it with a blender. A stick blender is what we use, and then we put them in molds, and then we let them cure for at least 30 days. The curing process is critical. Usually, soap is formed between 3 to 4 days, but the longer you wait, the harder the bar, and the more likely the saponification process has been performed on it. It's just a chemistry process that makes it happen. I don't know the exact process to it.
And so with lotion sticks, you don't have to use lye, correct?
Correct. So with lotion sticks, you don't have to use the lye water concoction. It is just melt and pour basically, and then we usually let them sit for 24 hours to cure in these containers. So in the normal video, this would be where I would edit out the long wait time. We're just waiting on our beeswax to fully melt down. The shea butter doesn't take long, and the coconut oil is already a liquid. So that makes things easier.
What is your favorite product to make?
The itch stick by far.
Yeah, or why?
I like how we can create a nice product like this to help alleviate bug bites. The bugs are terrible this year, and it's one of the easiest products for us to make, and it's one of our best sellers so far.
Nice. So what are you using now?
So right now I'm just checking our melting point, and we're at about 145, 150 degrees on our beeswax here. I'm just double checking to make sure that we're not overheating the beeswax. You won't normally overheat it, but these containers will melt if it's too high of a liquid, so we're trying to maintain a lower temperature as best we can.
So I hear a blower in the background. Can you explain to me what is over your left shoulder?
So this here is just an exhaust fan. This is creating a lot of steam, and I'm just trying to suck it out and out the door. We usually put our lye water underneath it, so when we mix it, it creates a really bad smelling gas, and it's not really healthy for you. So we usually put our lye water here on this mat and let that get sucked out of our soap room as we're making it.
Okay.
We are almost there with our beeswax. Bring it over to show you. We just got a couple chunks left in there. This is 100% pure, locally sourced beeswax. We try to source all our products locally. Obviously, we can't grow coconuts here, and I'm not 100% sure where shea butter comes from.
Shea butter comes from Africa, so I really don't think we have the climate for shea butter either.
Probably not.
Probably not.
As cool as that would be.
So about how long from start to finish does it take for you to make lotion sticks?
About a half hour to 45 minutes. It all depends on how long the beeswax, how big of a batch we're doing, how long the beeswax takes to melt, and all those factors combined.
Okay. So how about for soap? How long does that take you?
Soap takes about an hour. Most of it is just waiting because you're waiting on the oils to melt and cool. You're waiting on the lye water to cool, and then the blending doesn't take long, and then once you put it into a mold, it's more so kind of done at that point. You leave it in the mold for 30 days or so, and then let that. Then we put that on it. Well, you don't leave it in the mold for 30 days. You leave it in the mold for 2 days usually is what we do, and then we put it into a drying rack. We keep a dehumidifier on in this space, and then we'll cool it if it needs it with an air conditioner.
Do you need a lot of space to make soap?
No, you don't need a lot of space. A lot of it is just space for curing because you want it in a nice, cool, dry environment. You don't want your soap in a bad humid environment. We have our soap room here. It's an old workshop, and that seems to work out for us really well.
So I would say like our shelf here, where you can see, like right here, is probably like no more than 8 feet. Probably more like 6, right?
Yeah, this is about 6 feet long.
Okay, and so that's an adequate surface to make soap on.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
lotion bars too.
You can actually do it on a kitchen stove if you wanted to. You can do it right in your kitchen, but we like to keep our business and our personal life separate, so we we keep it out here in the workshop. Plus, that way we have
Plus,
our
we
own.
have a dog too.
Yeah, the dog. But we have our own dedicated soap dishes that we don't like to mix between our personal dishes. So our beeswax, I wish you could smell. I wish we had smell-o-vision here. This beeswax smells phenomenal. And we're all melted. Look at that. That is gorgeous. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our shea butter. Whoops, not with that one, I guess. We use these blue nitrile gloves. I really like them. We get them on Amazon. We're going to take our shea butter, and the shea butter is really soft. You can kind of see how soft that is. Beeswax is a really, really hard product. So this shouldn't take long at all to melt. So I'm just going to stick that whole glob in there. Scrape off the edges here. And set this aside. Don't be afraid to leave a chat comment. We are here to answer your burning questions. For the new viewers, we are making itch sticks. These are our products that we use for bug bites, bee stings. It helps alleviate the itchiness. Just waiting on the shea butter to melt. Again, here's the calendula flower. This is what we use for the anti-itch properties. We infuse it with our coconut oil. And we grow the calendula flower right here on the farm. So the shea butter is melting nicely. We are just waiting on the rest of it to melt. There's still a couple globs in there. I guess I could have broken that up a little bit better. But wouldn't be a video without a little bit of failure. Again, this is about the time where I would probably make an edit. This is the behind the scenes you don't normally see. It smells really good in here. That beeswax is awesome. All right, I am going to add our coconut oil. This is our infused coconut oil. Like I said, basically how we infuse the coconut oil is we take a mason jar, fill it about 2/3 of the way up with the calendula plant, add the coconut oil, and then leave it in a crock pot to steep.
So you keep it about,
I think it was about 120
yeah.
was the max you want it. So I'm going to add our infused coconut oil to our mixture here. Bring it over for you to see. Here's our mixture of the shea butter and the beeswax. It's a nice golden color.
Okay, Ryan Lee asks, how do you control the humidity during drying? He also says beeswax with a lot of exclamation marks.
So right here is a dehumidifier. We turn that on, and that dehumidifies the room. We leave it running constantly because we can never really get this room totally dehumidified, but we use I think about 45-50% is what it stays at, which is perfect for us.
And then we have a hose that you can't see, but it goes out the side and it drains outside, so that we don't have to constantly keep emptying it, because this is like directly on the other side of the holy door, is the outside. So we are we really do need to dehumidify the area.
So a nice transition that would have been cool to get on camera. when I added that coconut oil, it solidified some of that beeswax mixture. That is really cool. I wasn't expecting that myself. So now we're going to melt this down entirely into a liquid again before filling it into our jars. And I'm just going to scrape the rest of this out.
You can pass it off. I got it.
We might need that for pouring.
I think we will. I'll hang on to that.
I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit to get that water boiling again. I'm curious what the temperature is. So the coconut oil is at 130, and the liquid in there, I can get a decent temperature. It's all about 130. Let me try mixing it. There we go. The liquid's running about 141, so it's just on the edge of melting, which is pretty cool.
So tell us about how many generations, like how many different recipes did it take for us to get to this point?
I think this is our third generation itch stick.
Yeah.
And we got a nice balance of beeswax, shea butter, and coconut oil. And I'm telling you, I wish I could like take the itch stick and throw it through the camera and rub some bug bites. It is magical, and a lot of people have bought them and used them, and they say the same thing. It's witchcraft. So now we're just playing the waiting game again, unfortunately. There's a lot of weight involved. I hope if this is something you ever wanted to try, you need to be a patient person. I'm not that patient, but it teaches you a lot of patience, that's for sure.
I'm not that patient either, but it's a really great chance to, like, if you want to listen to a podcast or
listen to a book
or music. And honestly, it's a great time to get some time to yourself too and just work through getting it all set up or getting soap made.
So we are almost entirely solidified again.
Solidified or liquefied?
Liquefied.
There we go.
I'm all nervous. Everyone's watching.
Witchcraft in a stick. I love it. Especially after the bonfire or a bonfire with mosquitoes.
That is a good point.
Thank you.
So right now I just have a couple of these small chunks floating in the pot. They just look like that. I'm just trying to get them melted. Now, it's not really a warning, but I will say we try to drain as much calendula petals out of the coconut oil, but if you get one of these itch sticks and you start applying it and there's a little something in there, it's more than likely a petal, or it could be a byproduct from the beeswax. But most of the time, it's not an issue.
Yeah, we've tried a couple different methods for how to keep the calendula out of it. And we've tried a couple the fill your own tea bags, but I think we found a coffee filter works the best. Or what did we use?
We use a colander, the mesh colander.
Yeah, the mesh colander.
That we just pour into another dish, and it strains out a majority.
Yeah, you get a little bit of sentiment, but not that bad. How do they work on sugar bites? We don't get that many around here, but I get crazy bug bites. For some reason, Mike seems to be immune. Yeah. So I'll come in from outside and I'll have a bunch of different bug bites, not just mosquito bites. And it really helps to do like to fix any sort of itching. So without firsthand experience, I can't tell you how they work on those sorts of bites, um, but they work really great on all sorts of other bites.
So when we go to fill our containers, we usually just pour it back into the container that housed our oil. You can actually see that it's starting to solidify on the edges. So we usually just pour really slow and try not to miss.
And then miss a lot. The last time we tried, I tried with a wrong pouring spout and it just went everywhere.
We are thinking about getting a funnel because we think it might help us. These actually hold 0.75 of an ounce of itch stick material. Believe it or not, this will last you a long time. It might not look like a lot now, but you will have it forever.
Maybe not forever.
You'll have it for all summer, I can tell
For
you
all
that.
summer, yeah. And Kangaroo God says, "Hello, Mike."
Hello, Scott. I know you personally. I know where you live.
So, about how many ounces did we do in this batch?
This batch was, I'm not sure, 43 ounces. I got my camera woman behind the camera, giving me my lines. But yes, we did 43 ounces, and these are all 0.75 ounces. We still have a lot left. We don't have enough of these containers. We got some more on order, but we wanted to perform this video.
We mainly made a larger batch because we didn't want to have a bunch of infused coconut oil just sitting around. So we wanted to use up the rest of it, turn it into sticks.
So now with these sticks, we're going to let them solidify for approximately 24 hours. After the solidify happens, we will put what we call the anti-tamper label on, which is just a strip here. And then we put the top label on top of that, and then we put this label over that. So when you go to open this, it'll break that, indicating that it's been tampered with.
Yeah. Kangaroo God says maybe you should sell them at Apple Unkin in Wyoming this year.
Ooh.
That does sound nice. So where are our festivals this year so far that we've scheduled?
So if you go to our website, www.v, as in...
Or you can point it out on your shirt too.
The letter V, wfarm.ny.com. So that's www.vwfarmny.com. You go to our homepage, right in the smack dab center, there's our festival schedule of 2024. It's constantly getting filled up to this day. It is up to date right now, but we have a few more festivals that we're going to.
Yeah, we have a couple applications.
Keep checking back. Wyoming, that's not too far from here. We might have to go to that
Wyoming,
festival.
New York.
Yeah.
Wyoming.
It's still within walking distance.
It's pretty within distance.
I'm going to shut this fan off because it's annoying me now.
Yeah, that really made a big difference.
Yeah, it is currently raining out. Big thunderstorms. I was afraid we were going to lose power midway through this. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got here.
And again, we'll wait a little bit before we put the caps on, because the liquid is hot. So if you trap air in there, you could get humidity, and we don't want to have like water on top of the sticks.
So I wish I could lift one of these up without spilling. You can actually see the state of change right on the very bottom, how it's turning into a solid and slowly creeping its way upward. And what we'll do is we'll wait for that to happen, and then if they're low, we'll top them back off.
Okay. Are there any other questions from our lovely live audience? Okay. Well, we really appreciate everybody who came and spent time with us this afternoon. And thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you guys for the conversation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook and on our website. This is Mike.
My name is Mike with VW Farm,
Yep,
live from VW Farm.
This is the Itch Stick. Thank you.
We are planning on doing more live events. Let us know if a time is better than others.
Or if you want to see us make something,
or if you want to see certain products. We did thoroughly enjoy doing this live event. Unfortunately, it's honestly just a lot of waiting for melting and mixing, but we are very happy to continue doing live events. We are so happy that you all enjoyed and joined us. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.